All right, what's up, everybody? We're here with Coach Dan Gable at his house here just outside of Iowa City. Kind of spend the day with him doing a few different things, right?
I hope so.
All right, let's go check it out.
Hang on, guys. I'm gonna get some steam up. Got 10 seconds. One more. Come on, Russians. You ain't got nothing on me, Russians.
We went to the Lisbon match. Lisbon wrestled Don Bosco.
Yeah, Lisbon got beat. That's surprising. I thought Lisbon beat him earlier.
I think they did, actually.
Wow. Yeah. That's two small little schools, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, I mean, can you believe Lisbon, though? They got people flying in from California to go to school to Lisbon in Lisbon, Iowa.
It was awesome.
I mean, they got 2 or 3 kids, don't they? That heard about this place. Brad Smith and him's coaching ability, and so they come to these towns.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's 42 years.
He's
been the head coach. It was awesome. Packed. The gym was packed.
Well, Brad hasn't been the head coach for 42 years at Lisbon, has he?
He's been a head coach for 42 years.
Yeah, because he ended up coming down to Iowa City for a while, and then he came back to Lisbon.
Okay.
Yeah, so he was at Lisbon, wrestled for me, won a national title senior year. That was probably the only one major tournament he won, but that was the one to win.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah. But I was coaching him wrong, and I figured it out his senior year. It took me 4 years to figure him out.
You were coaching him wrong? What do you mean?
I was a new coach, and so I was trying to figure out things about him. So when he came in, he filled out a form, and I had all these questions. He filled them all out. I read them, and I believed the kid, and so I went about it in that manner. But it took me 3 years to realize that I should have changed it after about 6 months. What he was writing was all incorrect. And I confronted him about it. You said you had all the motivation and you didn't need any extra help. And he said, Coach, I'm a freshman then. You just come off the Olympics. You were an Olympic champion. You think I'm going to tell you the exact me? I'm going to tell you what you want to hear.
Sure.
So it taught me really a lot right away. I tore that up in my senior year. I started out the season taking him after practice when it was still fairly warm yet, in October and November, probably November, 1st of November, it's getting cold. But after a tough practice, I'd take him 10 miles out of town, put him in front of the car on a gravel road, and he'd have to run in front of that car 10 miles after a practice. And we did it probably 6, 7 times, and by the time the real cold started and the main season started, we were done. But he had built up something he had never had before, stamina, and just more focus, and realized he could do some things. He never thought he could run 10 miles after a wrestling practice. He was just lacking that finish of a match. He was so close to people and actually had beaten a couple really good guys, but he just always faltered a little bit. It was right towards the end, and that solved the issue. In fact, he won in the national finals that year by major.
Today, you wouldn't think a coach would try to fix a problem by making a guy run 10 miles, right? Today, it'd be like, that's the wrong, we need to go work on your defense,
right.
Or they'd take a more technical approach. Or just think 10 miles it just doesn't seem like the right thing.
Well, at that time, it was like I kept doing kind of what you were talking about, just making him better wrestler, making him better. But it really wasn't, he was already a good wrestler.
Yeah.
It was in his mind, the ability to push beyond a certain level. And just that 5 or 6 times, that 10-mile run, me yelling at him while he's running, if he slows down, built something that he hadn't had before. And I think by him being the greatest coach in the state of Iowa now, because he surpassed my high school coach, Bob Siddons, with 11 or 12 or 13 state titles or whatever it is. He looks at his own self, saw what happened to him, saw the coach, what he did for him at the end. Should have done it 2 years earlier, but that made him probably dig into the coaching aspect a little bit more than a normal person, and he's done a great job.
Story.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. Hang on. I don't want to roll. Oh. Hang on, guys. I'm going to get some steam up. Need a little more weight in the back. Got to get Chris Taylor back there.
That would help.
You remember him?
I did not personally, but yeah, of course.
450.
Yeah.
You know, he used to weigh in on. We didn't have a scale heavy enough, so we had to take him to the to where they hang.
Meat?
Yeah, meat department.
Heard about
Yeah,
that.
hung on a big thing.
Why do you even need to weigh in though if it's unlimited?
Well, he just wanted to know what he weighed,
Yeah. Okay.
and maybe that was part of it. Maybe he had to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe a rule. I'd run about 12 laps around this gym, lose about 3 or 4 pounds. He'd run 1 lap and lose 3 or 4 pounds. Great guy though. We went to Russia together.
Yeah.
Russians just fell in love with him. They just fell in love with him. They never saw anything like it. When he came out in Tbilisi we walked out because we were kind of, we didn't know what we were doing. I mean, it's getting ready for the competition. We got about 45 minutes to go, and we walked out on the mat and we started warming up. But they don't do that. They warmed up behind the scenes back in those days. So they had another room that you warmed up in. But when they got to saw the American, but then they saw Taylor, those 10,000 Georgians went crazy. I mean, whistled, yelled, and then he all of a sudden did a front somersault, and they went twice as crazy. They hadn't seen anything like it. They usually like to come when the Americans were there because we always had an unusual style guy like. If Rick Sanders came or somebody, you know, they're pretty much, if you see one, you see most of them, except, you know, there's some individuals that made their way that weren't the typical stereotyped guy. Well, I was head coach 27, yeah. You know, since, you know, I really stopped coaching like 49 full time.
I mean,
because I abused my body, but I really didn't abuse my body. I just worked my body.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you take more wear and tear as a coach or as an athlete?
Well, I had a lot more years as a coach, and it was easy to be an athlete for me, but yet I trained extremely hard. It was pretty easy. I'm pretty confident. But, you know, it's just as a coach, it was wear and tear on my mind just took a toll.
Your mind?
Oh, my mind, yeah. I couldn't settle for anything less than the best, you know. And so when you get used to winning all the time as an athlete, but then when you get used to winning as a coach all the time, second place was like a major loss. All of a sudden, I just started getting this sickness the last month of the season. I thought for sure I had, you know, something majorly wrong. But then all of a sudden, during the tournament, when all of a sudden I was going to win the championship, if it was Friday night, I woke up Saturday morning not sick. I mean, I did that for about 5 years. That's crazy. So, you know.
Physically ill. Yeah.
So, yeah, I put a lot of stress on me, but that's why I knew that I had to not slow down, but change direction a little bit, get healthy. Because now you got to work at your health the same way. You know, you're getting older, and you learn to manage things if you're smart. You're smart. Just like you learn to manage your athletes if you're a smart coach. I got some more wood back there, and I want to fine tune it. I'll show you kind of what we've been doing, and we'll chop a little bit of wood there.
Hey, music?
All right.
Yeah, sounds great.
Let's head back.
Do it. I made a friend.
Well, Labradors are friends. Stay on the snow, and I think you're good. Yeah, we transport the wood from over there that's being stored over to here, and they put it all on the back here, and then actually this stack here is I take the wood I got and I split it up again even.
Okay.
Just for the starting stuff. Just lifts right up. You always hit it perfect every time either. Yeah, so it's doing pretty good. But I broke a few axes in my day too, and if you notice, this is steel. And so when you miss and you hit here, you don't break the axe. These are all broken axes. See? Be careful, see? That and a split right there, see? And actually, I cut So now I found a better axe instead of having to.
I like this one too, you put tape on it.
Yeah, I tape them up. Working a lot better. Whoops, that wasn't too good there. A little dangerous. You got the bark. Yeah, you can do her. And that one's this is gonna be tough. Because that one's gonna be tough. We won't put that on. We won't show that one, or maybe we will. Yeah, good. Yeah, you got her. Come on, there you go. Bear hug that. You wanna do that? Okay. All right, here we go. Whoa! This is where the wrestling team gets tough, right here. See, this is a monster maul. And when you hit this, you got to hit it 5-6 times, and then it splits. But usually when the wrestling team comes out, we give them the heavy maul. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna stand back here. Just hit her, swing it a few times. Yep, it's pretty cheap one. Take it apart. Take it apart. Come on, take it apart. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're good. I like that. Start attacking. That's where the good wrestlers. Yeah, that's good. And then I got a new one here. Sometimes what we do with this is we take these and we split these up. So you take this and see. I mean, you get her down to this. These are really good axes. It's steel. I got a lot of chainsaws, 2 of those. I actually spoke for the company once. I told them, I said, you know what? I said, you gotta get a chainsaw that my wife can start. And then you know you got a good chainsaw. Boy, it's snowing out there right now. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice. Take it apart. Take it apart. Come on, take it apart. Yeah, bear hug that. Yeah, you can do it. I usually went to bed thinking about the practice that I had, or even the whole night, trying to study, doing something else, and you're thinking about why this guy took you down, because you were the guy that, you know, I was trying to be in control, or why he did it. If somebody did something to me once and it was like, whoa, I'd go right back into the same situation to try to learn how to stop it. And I wouldn't learn it right then, but it would familiarize myself with it. By the time I was at 4 in the morning, when I had the answer in my dreams, I'd wake up with the answer. I woke up literally with answers out of my sleep so many times. But it wasn't just about wrestling holds. It was about answers to something that you really want to know about. And I just racked my brain, and once I go to sleep, I would continue apparently, and I'd wake up. But the real problem was, if I was really tired when I woke up with the answer, I'd go back to sleep and I'd forget. So I learned that I kept a pencil and paper right by my desk, and I'd write down. I still do them things because I know that I have a really good answer, and I don't want to forget it. So I go write it down, and I forget it until I see that piece of paper. So it's I don't know, it's just crazy. That's the way it is. But of course I used to be a sleepwalker too. So that was crazy. I'd sleepwalk when I was a kid, and I'd be 3 blocks away from home in the middle of the night, my underpants or my pajamas or whatever you had on. And a neighbor would be like still up at 1 o'clock in the morning coming home, and they'd see me and walking around and put me in their car and take me back home. And by chance, I must have went out the door that they tried to get in, put me in there. And next day I'd wake up not even remembering it. And for some reason, my mom would run into that guy, or the guy would call and say, hey, what about your son last night? What about it? You know, we wouldn't even know about it until later. You know, it's like this one store, we had a little store, and it was 2 blocks away from our home, and I was at that store trying to get in at 1 o'clock in the morning, and it closes at 8 o'clock at night or something. So the guy lives right next door to it. So what is this little kid doing in his pajamas doing? So they took me home, and I showed them where I lived, or they knew me. Probably knew me because we used to go to that store. And then the next day my mom would come in that place and say, hey, what about your son last night? You know, me taking him home. She didn't know anything about it. But once she would come home and ask me about it and tell me about it, I would recall it. Does it happen to a lot of people, or?
I don't think so.
I mean, I used to sleepwalk unbelievably all the time, and leave the house, or be they'd hear a bunch of noise in the basement, and I was downstairs in a fight in the basement, you know, or something, you know. Nobody was there.
Yeah.
But it was fighting and screaming or something. I don't know. It's just stuff, crazy stuff in your life. My wife went over to the wrestling office. Tom Brands was there, and she saw him. Calls her in. He comes in there, and she goes, "What are you doing over there?" "I was just visiting with your secretary and getting a couple posters or something." He goes, "Anything we can do for you?" She looked at Tom this year, and she said, "Yeah, Tom. I want to walk in here in the spring, and I want to see that NCAA championship trophy right here on your desk." She told me that this year. I said, "What'd he say?" He loved it. He loved it. Hey, that's not there yet. I mean, I'll tell you what, there's some competition out there, you know. Kale's he don't turn over. This is probably good for Penn State, you know, because they might just get a little, kind of like Iowa did. Just back in the day when you win a lot in a row and you're doing really well, and you let things just get a little further than you should.
Specifically like what?
Oh, just maybe partying too much, not being as dedicated as you should be, disciplined. And I'll tell you, as soon as you lose that, you lose a little bit. You can still win,
Yeah.
but not forever with that.
Was that slowly happening at any point?
Oh my God. Started happening, I'd have to guess right now, but 83 maybe?
Is that when you guys were on the
No, we're going for 9 and 86, going for 10 and 87. I think it really happened when, and the atmosphere was already here a little bit, which I didn't know.
The atmosphere?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, I think the people that built the program, the wrestlers, were fine. They partied at times, but they knew when to. And I think what happened is when the kids come in, they saw like the atmosphere that was going on in the off season. So you recruit a guy, bring him in the spring, and there was some pretty wild, crazy times going on, and fun and beyond fun, you know, beyond Kale's fun. His fun is winning national championships and his wrestlers doing, you know, I don't know if my fun was that way, because my fun might have been off the mat. His fun, he puts on the mat, he says. But so I think when the guys like Penrith and Elger and Randall, they all came in, David Ray, they saw Randy Lewis, they saw guys that pretty, you know, had done really well, and, you know, just too much fun. The kind of fun that's you're not having on the mat, you're having it off the mat. And so, yeah, I think they read it wrong. We were still winning, though. We still won, 84, 85, 86. Lost in 87, but it took all those years. That's how strong you are. So that's why easier said than done to beat Penn State.
Yeah.
They got a lot of stability. So going into that 87 year that we lost, in December of 86, I said, whoa, we might not win. And so that was the first time it really hit me. So we've been doing things 83, 84, 85, 86. December of 86, after that 9th championship, I just came home from the dual meet. I said, wow, we showed some vulnerability. I mean, we may not win that 10th championship this year, the one we have on the wall, the big X on the wall. We may not win that thing. And that, you know, and that's so that opened my eyes. But apparently, things don't just change overnight. So you got December, January, February, March. And so I honestly believe that I changed that day for the better and started cracking down. But what happened in 84 and 85 and 86, I mean, that's a long time. That's years as compared to you can get 3 or 4 months in. And so to get that back was probably asking too much. But I didn't know it at the time, because I still didn't know it when we lost, that we wouldn't win the next year and the next year and the next year and the next year. I figured for sure we would. I just didn't take into account of how long we had been kind of sliding just a little bit, yet still winning. I'll say one thing, that I didn't want to go out in second place. And I think my athletes knew that, and that's why they really, well, we did a lot of strategy too, lots of stuff that I had learned through my career. But I was so focused on really wanting to step down. It was the point in time in my life, yet it's still, most people don't, when they're 48 or 49, whatever it was, it was like, I'm not going to be around much longer. That was a thought of mine.
In general or coaching?
On this earth.
Yeah.
I was that desperate to heal. So you go your 15 years, 10 years as a wrestler, and you go your 25 years as a coach, 4 years as assistant, 21. So that's 35 years. And you pretty much win every year, everything, and you have to, and it's just the way it is, and that's your standard. I think it takes a toll. I think it took a toll on me because I said to myself, if we go to that tournament, we don't win it, which it looks like we might not, can I step down? Well, as competitive as I am, I'd say I can't go out a loser. But I convinced myself going into there, whether it would have happened or not, and I would have died within a couple years trying to win, whether or not I was convinced that I needed to leave that tournament and try to become healthier than I was. So I think I was on the brink of something, heart attack, who knows, or something happened quickly. So it just so happens, record performance. A lot of a strategy, and it laid right out. I mean, the first match of that tournament was hand-picked, and it happened. First match of the tournament was Casey Gillis, I think, against an Iowa Stater, and I had shown him how he could do this move to this particular guy, and I said, when you get to wrestle, this guy's beating you all year, I think, and but I think he's wide open for a foot sweep. And this first match of the tournament, he foot sweeps him, and as he goes down to the mat, he ends up in a headlock, pins him, and wow, it ended. The last match was full heart, right down to overtime, and winning. So, wow. I think we had a big spread of points there, and record set, which the points hasn't been surpassed yet. Maybe this year. You never know.
Listen, I want a good workout of you today.
It's not going to be a good one because
Gable, don't.
Oh, it's a good one, but I'm gauging it on no sleep last night.
We need. All right.
I'm gauging on no sleep.
I don't. That sleep. I never had any sleep for.
Well, you slept on the floor a lot.
Well.
60 seconds, and then I'm going to end up doing 20 seconds, and then I'm going to do this and that, and then I'm done. If I don't get my heart rate up, especially as I get older, I get real tired quickly and might not even recover. So I'm going to do a little bit of warming up here.
You know what you said to us, Gable, that the team really likes about what you said about warm-ups? You always would say, get a little more than what you think you need.
Especially, yeah.
You said get a little more
Here's
than
what
what
I
you
did
think
in
you
practice.
need.
I almost never let him go. So this is the difference between me and Nichols. I learned that when they're ready to go, they're not ready to go. So usually when they were ready to go, I ran them another 5-6 sprints, let them rest a little bit between, and then hand fought them hard and made them execute a little bit more. And then I said, okay, now you're ready.
He'd get you right to the point like you wanted to say, Gable, get the hell away from me. The worst thing I would hate is when we would run sprints or something, and we called it Gable time. It's a linear time that doesn't have any meaning, because if Gable said 2 minutes, it could be 20 minutes. I've seen you say 1 minute, and it might last 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, of course. You know why? Because you were scoring in that 1 minute, and I loved what you were doing.
Right.
Because you hadn't scored the other minute.
Right.
You had 2 minutes to go, you waited to the 1 minute to score. I wanted to see that next minute, so as long as you're scoring, I'm going to keep it going.
All right.
And that's why you got good.
Right.
I got more out of my guys in the last 5 minutes of practice than the whole practice.
Yeah, that's true. And some guys could not take it. Some guys that were used to people, like when you say, okay, we'll do 2 more and we're done. Guys that are real pragmatic and practical, they hate Gable.
You know what they did?
Huh.
When I said 2 minutes, they looked over the clock on the wall because they had a ticker. So then they would watch it. So I took the clock down. Ready? Go. Yep.
Let's go.
A decent go. I'm not going to go that hard yet. No.
I do. I got a 29-year-old girlfriend.
I can't believe how slow these seconds are going. 30 seconds. Got it. Five seconds. Time. Wow.
Yeah.
Must be the camera.
No.
So now we're going to go a little weights.
Okay.
Yeah. 1, 2, 10.
That's a good snap
That's
down.
good hip. Like somebody comes in on you, you hit him with your hips, you knock them out. That's what they call knockouts. Put your hips right in there.
Yeah.
Right in there. Lay your hips right in there. Hit them hard. You knock them out. Gotta get their hips hit. You got big hips. Hit them. We're gonna pull into here. So it's you pull in, but you're pulling here. So it's like if you're a top man, Greco, freestyle, pull them in. Or if you're in on a shot, you gotta lift, just pop your hips again. I use my hips all the time. Hit it, 1, bounce out, bounce, 2, 3, 7, 8, 11. That's power, that's power.
Power stuff.
Hell yeah. That's when the airdyne.
Yeah.
Go. Ha! 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 Gotta bury that level. Now bury it. Boom. Boom. You got 10 seconds. It's funny how when the people are filming you, you're better. Yeah. Still get tired though. Don't admit it. Don't admit it.
You get tired after. Gable always said you get tired afterwards. You feel a lot more tired.
Yeah,
if
not
you
during the
lose.
match. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
Get all the time to rest.
And I'm a big proponent of big, hard pushes. Like these people that do aerobic stuff, it's not doing it for the heart. You're not pushing it through. It's like if you had sludge in a garden hose and you just try to blow that through, you're not going to get through. You need to. That's what a strong, like a fast workout is.
Okay, here we go.
Good ones, Gable. Come on. You jack it around.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can squat all the time.
There you go.
Pump in. 12. I can go 100 more, but I'm not gonna. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
6.
Pump it in.
7.
The next one.
11.
One more.
12.
Perfect. Good
Okay,
job.
guy.
Good job, guy. I'll see you in the sauna. Hot tamale. Oh, nice. Bader's 30. He's in his 30s. He's
40.
He is 40 now.
40 on the nose.
When did you turn on the nose?
November, I turned 40.
I was still strong as an ox at 40.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah.
No.
For a little guy.
I'm telling you,
I'm
no,
kidding.
that's good, but it was 50 that hit me. I was wrestling Mako at 40.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy, Gable?
It's pretty good.
When did you stop wrestling, Coach? I mean, obviously at the end you couldn't, with his hips and everything.
56.
56, really? So you had replacements and then kept back up?
I had one replacement with my hip. I've had several surgeries.
Sure.
But I had one hip replacement. After when I went to get my second I already had 2 hip replacements. So I already had 2. Then I waited about till 6, 7 years later. I had to go and replace the other one. And then once I had that second one done, I wrestled for another 5, 6 years. And then I wore those 2 out.
The knees or the hips?
The hips. I had to go replace them again, and I said, I don't want to wear them out like that because I can only have so many. They told me I couldn't have any more.
Yeah.
Now they said I can, but that's because of time. But because I didn't wrestle hard like for all those years, I mean, I drilled a little bit maybe and stuff. They just took a shot at my hips. Said they're nowhere, none.
Really?
In the last 6 to 8 years. My knees are going to be the next thing, and
My knees are freaking.
Yeah, so it's not too bad. I've learned though that I can actually strengthen my thighs without hurting my knees by not doing the exercises that doesn't put the weight down on it. I just so happen to have these machines, not the ones here, but I don't have any for here, but the ones down in Florida. I have a lot of really good leg machines.
Does that help with grip? The thing around here. Why do you tape it up there?
This is tendonitis from 6th grade baseball.
Wow.
Pitcher. This is nerves, and this is arthritis in the joint of my wrist. So I put tape on there for pressure, and it doesn't hurt. Takes away the pain.
No kidding.
Takes away the pain.
While you're working out.
He's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, for a long time.
Did you guys ever do crazy things in saunas, Royce, Coach? I mean, like, or was it just like a everyday thing?
Just they were tired, hot. I made them stay an extra minute, 2 minutes, but it's like nothing where.
Sometimes you did shut the lights off and shut the door and say we're not getting out of there.
It's like religious. It's a religious thing. It's
I was praying.
It's like back in 1966, our team, West Waterloo High School, was favored to win the states. We had 6, 7 guys go to states. We had won the districts against the town next door. I mean, the same school. I mean, the different school, same town, Waterloo, East Waterloo. So East Waterloo had 5 guys go. We had 7. But so we went to the states, and all 5 of their guys won state titles.
Oh gosh.
You know why?
No.
Because they had a guy behind the scene that was inside their head. So they turned all the lights off. So this is what I turned light. They turned all the lights off in the locker room, and there was a guy hiding in the sauna. Not sauna, in the shower. And all of a sudden, the coach goes, "Now listen, guys, we're blessed. We have the Lord here with us today. And the Lord's going to talk to you." And all the lights are off, and all of a sudden, a voice came out from the shower room and told all 5 of them that they were going to win because he would see to it that they won, that they deserved to win. And so they beat us. They had 5 champs. We had 2 or 3 and 2 or 3 other placers. But the mind, So it's just one of these things that's pretty incredible. But
yeah, when you turned off the light,
did it was a dad. It was one of the dads came up with this idea.
Really?
Yeah.
But I remember when you shut that light off, you found out who the guys that had any moxie to them. I mean, some guys just broke right away.
Well,
there's
there is a little mental toughness on setting on the high compared to the low.
Yeah.
Getting some water and not getting some water. I mean, there's you don't do it as a punishment. You just do it as a part of your training and a feel-good thing. But yet, if you want to stay a little longer to toughen somebody up a little bit, hey, you can do that. But I don't think you even talk about that aspect of it. I think right now you talk about feel good. You talk about sweating hard without having to put in a lot of workout when you need it. Well, we had some guys that did stupidest things in the sauna.
Oh, really?
Like bring a 6-pack of beer in there.
Well, celebrate.
Well, I mean, this was before even,
What sense of winning if you can't have a Gable beer?
Holy cow!
Come on, Russians. You ain't got nothing on me, Russians.
You're freezing.
Hey, Royce.
What?
Hey, what do you think?
Beautiful.
What do you think? Cameraman, what do you think?